Marketing involves the kinds of actions that increase the likelihood that a product is sold. Most of the time, a marketer wants to increase the likelihood that a consumer purchases a product without necessarily changing the price. Most people think of advertising when they think of marketing. While advertising is a part of marketing, it is only a small part. Marketing involves 4 P's: product, place, price, and promotion. Product is not just what you're selling, but also the features, options, services, and brand that accompany that product or service. If you buy a cool smartphone, you're not just buying a phone, but also an improvement to your personal image. Because you now have a smartphone, you're a smidge cooler than you were before. Place is that P that relates to how you will distribute this product or service to your customers. It could be a store you open, a website you sell through, or another store that will sell your product. Place also involves where the product is located on a shelf, what it's placed next to, and other factors in regards to how it's presented. When you sell your product to another company so that they sell it, this is called retail, and retail can take 3 forms. Exclusive distribution is where you only sell one kind of store to make your product seem exclusive and rare, which makes it seem more valuable. Play your cards right and you can sell your product for a higher price, but you won't reach as many people. The opposite of exclusive distribution is intensive distribution. This is where you sell to any company that will carry your product. You reach a wide audience, but your product will seem ordinary and likely sell at a lower price. In between exclusive and intensive distribution is selective distribution. This is where multiple stores carry your product, but only certain kinds of stores carry it so that you reach a good amount of people, but your product still seems kind of special and valuable. The third P is price, and price seems pretty simple. It's just the price at which you sell your product or service. However, there are many, many options for pricing. The simplest is cost plus pricing. This is just increasing the product price by a certain percentage of the cost. For example, if it costs me $10 to make something, I may sell it for $15 so that I make a 50% profit. Value-based pricing involves charging what your customers think your product is worth. This can be tough to guess, but it also tends to resonate the most with your customers. Competitive pricing involves looking at your competitors and keeping your prices just below theirs. If the competing gas station charges $3.99, you charge $3.98. If a competing airline charges $100, you charge $99. Going rate pricing is where the market determines the price at which you sell your product. This is what farmers get. They don't usually get to demand a price, they just get whatever the market says they'll get. Skimming is a form of pricing in which you artificially inflate the price of your good to make it seem more luxurious. Abercrombie did this for years, selling t-shirts for something like $30 so that high school kids would seem rich if they wore it. Discount pricing is what Walmart and Costco do. They find the cheapest possible way to sell their product, and people buy it. The downside is that profit margins are slim and your products seem cheap, but Walmart seems to be doing fine because they're large enough to make it work. Loss leader pricing explains why turkeys are cheapest at Thanksgiving when demand is highest. A supermarket sells turkeys at a price that is lower than their cost, so that they can get people to buy the turkey and the rest of their meal at the store. So sure, Pick and Save loses money on the turkey, but they gain a whole bunch more money on everything else you buy for your Thanksgiving meal. Finally, psychological pricing is when you sell a product for 99 cents instead of $1. That 1 cent makes a little difference to the company, but it makes the product seem cheaper because it's now less than $1. The last P is promotion. Promotion involves advertising as well as public relations and personal sales. Everyone is probably familiar with advertising. It's just how a company tells you about their product through commercials, billboards, ads, or whatever. Public relations is how a company creates a favorable public image. PR is really about making the company popular and likable. This may involve an open house, a trade show presentation, charity, sustainability initiatives, or whatever. The idea is that if you like the company, you're more likely to buy their product than boycott or protest their headquarters. And finally, personal sales is about interacting with customers to build a lasting relationship and make your customers feel at ease as they're making their purchasing decision. So that's the 4 P's: product, price, place, and promotion. However, these 4 P's did not always exist. Marketing has developed over centuries to be what it is today, and marketing has changed drastically since the start of the Industrial Revolution. Before modern times, marketing existed in what is known as the simple trade era. Most of the effort in this time was about finding raw commodities, minerals or furs or whatever. The 1849 gold rush is a prime example of simply trying to find the raw materials needed to make products. When the Industrial Revolution started, marketing entered the production era. Now that resources were more plentiful and factories were more widespread, the focus could shift on creating products. Marketing at this time focused on making customers simply aware that a product actually existed. Competition was minimal. Companies simply wanted you to know that their products existed so that you'd know to buy them if you could. After World War I in 1920s and later, marketing entered the sales era. By this point, products had existed for long enough that competition began to increase. Companies had to change their message so that you were aware not only that their product existed, but also that their product was better than that other one. Coca-Cola spent decades trying to tell you they existed, but in the 1940s they had to shift their focus to tell you why they were better than Pepsi. After World War II, American GIs came back to an American marketplace that had changed drastically. Competition was now so intense that companies had to create entire sections to focus solely on marketing. It wasn't enough just to tell customers about their product, they had to change their product to make it more appealing to the customer. Product options increased, and customers could get flavors, colors, and scents with their products like never before. Henry Ford's "you can have any color you like as long as it's black" no longer applied in the marketing department era. Competition among products continued to get more fierce, and by the 1960s, a department was not enough for many products. In the 1960s, the Mad Men era of marketing, entire companies began to be created to sell products for other companies. These companies focused all of their efforts on finding, understanding, and swaying customers to buy the product they weren't even selling, but were being paid to sell. This was the marketing company era. Things stayed pretty consistent for a few decades. Once companies got a customer, they usually kept that customer. However, things began to change in the 1990s, which is when marketing entered the relationship marketing era. The baby boomers and Gen Xers weren't necessarily buying what their parents bought, and marketers needed a new strategy. Marketing became less focused on product attributes and more focused on customer feelings and experiences. Starbucks charged $5 for not just the coffee, but also that hip Seattle feel, the music, the earthy colors, and the weird furniture. Gas stations offered pay-at-the-pump services so that you could just get right back in your car and go. And if you did have to go inside, their bathrooms changed from holes in the wall to spotlessly clean commodes. Little did marketers know, the marketing scene would change quickly once again as the internet rose to dominance. Now that customers could easily share their experiences with millions of other people, the customer became as much of a marketer as the marketer was. As such, we're now in the social mobile marketing era, where marketers seek to enable customers to share positive experiences and try to prevent negative feedback. If you've ever rated a product on Amazon, criticized a hotel on Yelp, or even complained about a company in your Facebook status, then you've taken part in the modern new world of marketing, where customer loyalty, product quality, options, and customer perception are more crucial than ever before. If a product is terrible, no one's going to buy it because everyone will hear about it. So why should you care about this history of marketing? Well, if you've ever sold a product or will sell a product, that product will go through these same phases. You first need to find the best materials with which to make that product, then make people aware that your product exists, fight off the competition as it emerges, and create a positive experience about your product that your customers will want to share on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Yelp, Amazon, and whatever else is out there.